Was Jesus even his real name? The shocking Hebrew truth revealed at 3 a.m. The clock struck 3, and with it came a rush of energy that twisted the air around Jasper. He leaned in closer, heart hammering as he stared at his old, dusty laptop. The screen flickered, casting eerie shadows across his cramped room. This wasn't just any late-night research session. It was a plunge into the unknown. Legends whispered of hidden truths being revealed in the dead of night, and Jasper was about to uncover one of the biggest. His fingers tapped nervously on the keyboard. Hadn't his grandmother always said that names held power? And not just any power, but secrets that could rock the foundations of faith. Did Jesus, the man revered by billions, actually carry a different name in the language of his ancestors? The thought sent chills down his spine. He found himself gasping as he stumbled upon an ancient manuscript, its edges tattered and its pages yellowed with age. The words seemed to leap off the screen and twist like smoke in the air. Yeshua, they whispered. Could it be true? Strange symbols danced around the margins, drawing him in like moths to a flame. What if the truth had been hiding in plain sight all along, waiting for someone brave enough to unearth it? Who would dare speak of it out loud? He imagined the reactions this could provoke. Heartbreak, disbelief, even fury. Goosebumps prickled his skin as he pictured entire congregations split in two, the very fabric of faith unraveling before his eyes. As the clock ticked ominously, the unease thickened. Shadows stretched across the walls, the silence seeming to pulse around him. A noise behind him made him jump, and he turned, heart racing, but nothing was there. Just his old posters peeling at the edges. But his mind wouldn't let go of the thought, what if something was watching? What if there were others aware of the truth he was about to unveil? The pressure built in his chest as the implications began to sink in. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon, and while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The air crackled with energy, and as he scanned the page for more, he noticed a line that sent a shiver through him. Truth is often buried under layers of deceit. What did that mean? Was there a conspiracy at play? He could almost hear the echoes of 1,000 voices debating, grappling with the horror of it all. Just then, a sharp knock on the door jolted him from his thoughts, and his heart raced faster. Who would be out there at this hour? And why did the sound feel like a warning shot? He was on the brink of uncovering something massive, but would he be able to handle the truth when it emerged from the dark? Jasper's breath caught in his throat, a mix of fear and anticipation flooding his senses. He hesitated, mind racing, debating if he should confront whoever was knocking. The second knock shattered the silence, more urgent this time, sending prickles of dread down his spine. Should he ignore it? Surely it was just his imagination playing tricks on him. Curiosity wrestled with terror as he stood up, inching toward the door. The faded remnants of his grandfather's old advice echoed in his mind. When in doubt, trust your instincts. He peered through the peephole, praying for a mundane face, maybe a neighbor or a delivery person. Instead, he squinted at a shadowy figure, obscured by the dim haze outside. Jasper. The voice was low, almost swallowed by the night, urgency dripping from each syllable. Open up. We need to talk. His heart raced. He recognized the voice. It was Roger, his old friend from college, the one who always tangled with dangerous ideas in a quest for hidden truths. What could he possibly want at 3 in the morning? Was he involved in something Jasper didn't understand? Fear gripped him. Roger had a knack for finding trouble. With shaking hands, Jasper turned the handle. The door creaked open, revealing Roger with wide eyes and a frantic expression that made his normally laid-back demeanor seem a million miles away. He was soaked, likely from the heavy rain outside, his hair plastered to his forehead. "Jasper," he panted, glancing over his shoulder. "They're looking for me." "What? Who?" Panic surged through Jasper, but he remained at the threshold, instinctively wary. "What are you talking about?" Roger shoved past him, nearly stumbling into the room. "You need to run. They're onto us. The truth you found, it's more dangerous than you know. Far more." Jasper, bewildered, closed the door and leaned against it, his heart pounding. "I don't understand." "What truth?" The name, Roger's voice dropped to a whisper, as if the walls themselves might overhear. "They'll do anything to protect the narrative. You've stumbled into something huge." Jasper felt the air grow heavy, a crawling sensation creeping up from his gut. "What are you saying?" "It's not just a name, Jasper. It's a symbol of everything: the power of belief, the control over faith itself." Roger's eyes sparkled with a frantic light. "There's a whole underground operation. People who will stop at nothing to keep the world blind. You need to delete what you've found." "But I can't, Roger." The words burst from him, desperation mixing with excitement. "If this is true, if Yeshua really holds the key to something bigger, don't you want to know? Don't you want to help uncover it?" For a moment, Roger's expression wavered, uncertainty flickering behind his eyes. Then he shook his head. "No, you don't get it. They'll curtail anything that threatens their power, and now, with you, with your research." A crash suddenly erupted from outside, the sound of glass shattering, followed by shouts that sliced through the midnight air. Fear twisted Jasper's stomach. Were they already here? "Jasper, we have to go." Roger's voice was loud but edged with panic, eyes darting between the window and door. "Now!" But as Jasper turned toward the window, he froze, staring into the night. Figures cloaked in black were moving outside, shadows shifting, each of them carrying something that glinted menacingly in the streetlights. "They know," Roger muttered, his face a mask of fear. "Oh God. They know." A chill swept over Jasper. The truth about Yeshua wasn't just a revelation. It was a catalyst for chaos, and now it had placed him right in the crossfire. Just then, the front door shuddered, heavy fists hammering against it. His breaths quickened, and panic clawed at his throat. Could he really handle the fate that awaited him? Or was it already too late to turn back? The door buckled under the force of the blows. Jasper's mind raced with a sickening realization: he was about to find out what lay behind this dark conspiracy, and how much he was willing to risk for the truth. What if he was marked not just for discovery, but for eradication? "Get ready to run," he shouted, pushing Roger toward the back door. But as they turned, they heard an unexpected voice from the shadows, cold and chilling, searching for the truth. "Are we? Let us see how far you're willing to go." The unknown loomed before them, dark and unforgiving, and Jasper felt the world around him spiral into nightmare. The chase had truly begun. The doorknob rattled violently, the door shuddering. Every slam echoed like a thunderclap in the silence, each strike amplifying the urgency that coursed through Jasper's veins. Adrenaline surged, pushing him into motion. He grabbed Roger's arm, urgency driving him forward as they darted towards the rear of the house. "Where's the exit?" Roger hissed, his eyes wide with panic. "There's a back door to the patio," Jasper shouted, his voice a harsh whisper, anxious to drown out the insatiable rage beating against the door. They stumbled through the dimly lit hallway, the shadows of the past closing in on them. Roger's voice trembled. "Are you sure about this?" "No time for second-guessing," Jasper shot back. "We can't stay here." As they rushed through the house, each step was punctuated by the relentless pounding. He could already picture their pursuers, intent and cold, invading their sanctuary, but he didn't allow himself to dwell on it. The back door came into view, its surface smooth yet sinister. Jasper slammed his palm against it, forcing it open. The cool night air hit him like a refreshing shower. The storm had intensified, rain lashing against the earth as if nature itself was in on the chaos. "Go," he urged, nudging Roger ahead of him. As they stepped onto the patio, they heard muffled voices somewhere in the shadows. It was like an unseen audience watching their every move, waiting for the moment they would falter. Jasper's heartbeat thundered in his ears, hand gripping Roger's arm tight. Which way? Roger's breath came in hitches, his brow glistening with sweat. Toward the trees, Jasper pointed, the dark woods standing ominously on the edge of the property. We can hide until we figure out our next move. They crept forward, each footstep echoing ominously in the rain-slicked grass. A sudden flash of lightning illuminated the area, and Jasper caught sight of dark figures moving toward the house, assured and calculated. Are you sure this is the right direction? Roger questioned, unease creeping through his voice. Trust me, Jasper snapped, willing the uncertainty away. As they dashed into the cover of the trees, he couldn't shake the feeling that eyes were glued to their backs. The whispers of the past became louder, ominous echoes threatening to drown out their resolve. They pressed deeper into the thicket, heavy branches brushing against their skin like fingers reaching out to ensnare them. In the heart of the forest, they stopped to catch their breath, hearts thudding in rhythm with the distant thunder. Jasper, Roger gasped, do you think they'll find us? Our only chance is to keep moving, Jasper replied, his mind racing. They'll be searching the house, but we have the advantage of surprise. What did you find out? The truth you mentioned. Roger struggled to compose himself, chest rising and falling rapidly. What's at stake? Jasper hesitated, the depth of the answer hanging heavily between them. It's bigger than us. If what we uncovered gets out. The words burned on his tongue. Roger's eyes widened. What do you mean? What does it have to do with? A chilling laugh erupted through the darkness, sending ice through their veins. Clever boys, you really thought you could outrun the truth? You're playing with forces far beyond what you understand. Both men stiffened, the sinister voice creeping closer. It was deep, laden with malice, reverberating through the trees, almost as if the shadows themselves were alive. What do you want? Jasper shouted into the dark, blending bravado with dread. Leave us alone. But the voice sighed, unfazed. You're in it now. There's no escape until you confront what you've unleashed. Jasper grabbed Roger's arm tightly, the weight of fear and desperation crashing all around them. Did they truly unleash something terrifying? Was this just the beginning of an unstoppable descent into madness? As they turned to run deeper into the woods, a blinding beam of light pierced the darkness, illuminating their pathway. Jasper heard footsteps marching behind them. The hunt was far from over. A terrifying thought lodged itself in his mind. What if they were not just hunted but hunted for something that could change everything? Move! He shouted, heart racing as they plunged headfirst into the night, unaware of what awaited them in the forest's depths. The truth lay ahead, but so did danger, and the boundary between them was fading fast. Would they be able to face what was coming? The darkness enveloped them like a suffocating blanket, the sounds of the storm mingling with the pounding of their hearts. Each footfall echoed ominously in the stillness, but Jasper knew they couldn't afford to hesitate. The beam of light cut through the trees, a beacon of fear driving them deeper into the spine-chilling unknown. Don't look back, he barked, adrenaline lending authority to his voice. Roger, though shaking, kept pace, pushing through the underbrush, their breaths coming in desperate gasps. Branches clawed at their clothes, and the muddy earth threatened to swallow their feet whole. Suddenly, a low growl reverberated from nearby, sending a jolt of pure terror through Jasper's body. He glanced at Roger, wide-eyed and breathless. Did you hear that? Roger whispered, his voice trembling. Yeah, Jasper replied, forcing himself to maintain a steady tone. But we don't have time to figure out what it is. Just keep moving. The ominous laughter echoed once again, closer this time, sending chills down their spines. It was like a predator toying with its prey, relishing the hunt. Every instinct in Jasper screamed for him to flee, but deep inside, he felt a flicker of anger. They were being hunted, yes, but they had the power to confront whatever lay ahead. Jasper, Roger gasped, breaking into a stumble. What if we're running right into a trap? Then we'll fight. We can't keep running forever. Jasper snapped, pivoting sharply to regain their course. Under the cloak of the trees, The world felt smaller, more confined, each shadow promising doom. We need to face this. Then, without warning, the beam of light swept toward them again, completely blinding them momentarily. In that instant, a silhouette materialized at the edge of the clearing, tall and menacing, shrouded in darkness as if scavenged from the depths of their worst nightmares. Release filled Jasper's chest as he recognized the form. "What do you want?" he shouted defiantly, summoning every ounce of bravado he could muster. "Want?" the figure replied, a twisted grin illuminating its face. "Why, we want the truth, of course. And you boys have it so nicely wrapped up." The figure stepped forward, and the light flickered, revealing a face Jasper recognized cold and calculating. It was someone from his past. Someone he thought he had buried long ago. "Ryan?" he breathed, disbelief washing over him. The name hung heavy in the air. "Surprised to see me?" Ryan's voice dripped with sinister pleasure. "I've been following your little escapade. You should know, secrets have a way of coming back, as do those who protect them." With that, he waved a hand, and figures emerged from the trees, shrouded in black, eyes glinting like daggers in the dim light. Jasper's stomach twisted as panic set in. They were surrounded. Roger edged closer to Jasper. "What do we do?" Jasper's thoughts raced, leading him through threads of fear and resolve. "We fight. We can't let them take us. Not now, not ever." But just as he prepared for a standoff, a low thud echoed in the distance like a heartbeat, muffled yet rhythmic. The ground trembled beneath them. "Do you feel that?" Roger murmured, his eyes darting around. Before Jasper could respond, two shadows loomed behind Ryan. A monstrous growl shattered the silence, making the hair on the back of Jasper's neck stand on end. "Leave now while you still can," the hidden voice rumbled. Jasper exchanged a glance with Roger, and in that single moment, he knew they were out of time. Everything they had known was unraveling. Their pasts tangled with this sinister web were coming back to haunt them, and secrets would not remain buried much longer. "Run!" Jasper shouted, lunging toward the underbrush, adrenaline propelling them forward as the fear of the unknown pushed them into a collision course with fate. What awaited them beyond the brush could either reveal the truth or lead them closer to danger than ever imagined. Behind them, the laughter echoed, promising that nothing would go unpunished. As they raced away, the ground continued to quake, the ominous sound growing louder. A rumble signaling that something horrific was about to emerge. Could they escape the truth and the monsters they had awakened? Or would they be consumed by their own dark revelations? Branches whipped against Jasper's face, the sharp sting matching the racing pulse in his chest. He could hear the growls behind them, feral and close, as if the darkness itself had taken a physical form, hungry for blood. "Faster!" Roger shouted, his breath labored, but Jasper could sense the weight of doubt behind his frantic words. Did they truly stand a chance against whatever was pursuing them? Their feet slipped on the muddy ground, every step a fight against gravity and fear, but still they pressed on, fueled by desperation. Jasper couldn't help but think of Ryan's twisted smile, like a specter from his past, dragging forth old wounds he thought he had closed. Deeper into the woods, the light from Ryan's crew faded, but it did little to quell the darkness. Instead, it wrapped them tightly, like a shroud. The growls transformed into demonic laughter, echoing off the trees, sending shivers coursing through Jasper's spine. Roger's voice trembled, breaking the thick silence. "I think we should shut up. Keep moving." Jasper shot back, unwilling to entertain any thoughts of surrender. Then, as if summoned by his defiance, the heartbeat from the ground intensified and the air thickened with something electric and alive. Suddenly, Jasper halted mid-stride. "Listen," he whispered, the weight of fear hanging heavy on the air. A low, rumbling snarl grew in volume around them, almost human, but dark and primal. It reverberated through the trees, shaking the branches, causing leaves to flutter to the damp ground as if nature itself trembled in anticipation. Jasper's instincts screamed at him to run, but curiosity anchored him, tethering him to the moment. "Do you think Roger started?" But Jasper cut him off. "Not now," he spat. The sound was like a call to arms, echoing deep within him, and he couldn't shake the feeling that standing still might be their only chance for survival. The snarl turned into a deep, horrendous howl, piercing the stillness of the night. It echoed off the ancient trunks surrounding them. Roger looked terrified, his eyes wide and reflecting the fear that gnawed at them both. "What is that?" he whimpered, trembling. Jasper narrowed his eyes. "I don't know, but we need to keep quiet." Just then, the bushes rattled violently behind them. Jasper's heart plummeted. It was not just the growling they had heard, something larger was emerging from the shadows. They needed an escape, but the forest felt like a trap, closing in on their hopes. Suddenly, a massive form lunged into the clearing, and in the fading light, they could make out the shape of a beast huge, with matted fur and eyes that burned like coals. The creature's presence was terrifying yet oddly familiar, revived memories clawing at Jasper's thoughts. "No!" Roger yelled, stumbling backward as panic gripped him. In that chaotic moment, Jasper felt an overwhelming urge to protect his friend. He couldn't leave him behind. Not now, not when the truth loomed so close, threatening to consume them both as the creature stalked closer. Its breath hot and fetid against the cool air, Jasper's mind raced. They could fight, but what kind of monster was it? And more importantly, could they outrun the truth? Just as the giant beast prepared to pounce, Jasper found his voice, cutting through the tension. "We're not afraid of you." The creature paused, its gaze narrowing, as if it understood. For a split second, the world held its breath, and Jasper could see the flicker of recognition. Then, without warning, it lunged. Jasper's survival instincts kicked in, and he seized Roger's arm, sprinting again into the dark path ahead of them. Panic surged through his veins, pushing them back to the place where the woods became tangled nightmares. "Where do we go?" Roger gasped desperately, glancing back over his shoulder as the shadow loomed larger. "The cave," Jasper shouted. An old legend spoke of a place in the woods, a hidden sanctuary that had swallowed many secrets. But with every step, the world around them seemed to fade. Would they find refuge, or was the truth lying in wait, ready to unleash itself? As they barreled toward the unknown, the howl of the creature echoed behind them, a haunting promise that the chase was far from over. What awaited them inside the cave could either set them free or trap them forever in a cycle of despair. The dark mouth of the cave yawned before them, a black hole that exhaled a chilling wind. Jasper faltered as the weight of dread pressed heavily on his shoulders. "Why did I think this was a good idea?" he barely whispered, feeling the heaviness in his heart as he eyed the churning darkness. Roger, breath hitching, stumbled up to Jasper. "We should have kept running," he insisted, his voice strained, as if each syllable was a battle against despair. "We can't. Not with that thing on our tails." Jasper shot back, eyes darting nervously to the shifting shadows behind them. The creature's growl echoed like thunder, rumbling through the very ground beneath their feet. They needed a moment, a brief pause to gather themselves before the chaos resumed. With gritted teeth, they stepped into the cave, the dampness seeping into their clothes and chilling their skin. The shadows enveloped them, thick and suffocating. Jasper squinted into the void, trying to make out the shifting shapes, each contour bringing with it fresh horror. "Do you think it'll follow us in here?" Roger whispered, fear squeezing his throat. "I don't know." Jasper's heart pounded furiously, the cave amplifying the sound like a war drum. "But we can't stick around to find out." He pulled Roger deeper into the cave, the ground uneven and slippery. Stalactites hung like teeth from the ceiling, dripping water in a rhythm that sounded too much like a countdown. The darkness pressed in, and the air suffocated them, thick with the scent of earth and decay. Each step reverberated with the weight of their fear. Suddenly, Jasper caught sight of a faint flicker at the cave's end. "There," he urged, pointing. "It looks like light." They pushed forward, driven by wild hope, but their progress was interrupted by a spine-chilling howl. The creature had arrived at the cave entrance, its massive form blocking the way out, eyes glowing like death itself. "Jasper!" Roger's voice rose in panic. What are we going to do? Jasper's mind raced, thoughts colliding like a storm. The cave was a sanctuary but also a trap. The creature was their only hope of discovering the truth. Yet it was also the embodiment of their darkest fears. We need to distract it, he said, quickly scanning the cave walls. There had to be something they could use. His hand brushed against a jagged stone, cold and heavy. Grab anything you can find, Jasper ordered, adrenaline fueling his words. We can't let it see us. Roger nodded, though his hands trembled as he picked up a few rocks. Fear kept them moving, rustling through the shadows, searching for anything that could fend off their pursuer. With a brute force that shocked him, Jasper heaved a rock toward the entrance. It clattered loudly, echoing through the cavern, a momentary distraction that made the beast snarl and shift away. He could see its hulking figure in the dim light, muscles tensed, nostrils flaring. Now, Jasper shouted. They launched stones toward the entrance, trying to confuse and mislead the creature. They could only hope it would turn away. Just as the last stone hit the ground with a definitive thud, the howl of the creature erupted, shaking the cave. Jasper's heart sank. It was enraged, a guttural roar resonating through the tunnel as the beast surged forward, showering them in droplets of dust and debris. Run! Jasper shouted, grabbing Roger's hand. Together, they sprinted toward the fading light, the creature lunging behind them with a fury that terrorized the heart as they stumbled into what felt like a larger chamber. They was met with unimaginable sights. Ancient carvings illuminated by moonlight revealed memories of those who came before, stories begging to intertwine with their own twisted saga. Jasper, look! Roger gasped, pointing. They could barely catch their breath, but what lay before them was strangely enticing. A mosaic that hinted at secrets buried deep within the cave. Could the light guide them to freedom or lead them deeper into the monstrous domain? Just as they were about to comprehend the implications, heavy footsteps echoed behind them. The darkness looming closer. They had to decide: turn back to confront their greatest fear or delve into the unknown. What awaited in the depths of the chamber could either unravel the truth about their past or solidify their fate in the hands of the beast. Would they emerge victorious, or would the cave swallow them whole, just as it had countless souls before? The eerie glow from the carvings cast flickering shadows across their faces, revealing the terror etched in their eyes. The air grew heavier, charged with tension that twisted their stomachs into knots. Jasper felt as if the cave itself was alive, whispering dark secrets just beyond the reach of comprehension. Jasper, what if this is where it feeds? Roger's voice trembled as he gripped Jasper's arm, fear slicing through the air between them. The massive beast snarled once more, its breath like a hot wind hurriedly loosed through the crevice of a deep cave. I don't know, Jasper hissed back, heart racing as the growling closed in. But we can't let it find us like this. They moved in sync, slipping along the ancient walls where the engravings told tales of hunters and hunted, battles fought and losses mourned. Each step felt like an echo of lives long vanished. Roger's breaths were shallow, quick. Jasper could feel his panic radiating like heat from a fire. The carvings transitioned from grotesque images of beasts to depictions of what could only be rituals, figures clutching torches raised high, their faces obscured by shadow. Jasper's eyes widened as he took in a scene that appeared all too familiar. Look at this, he gasped, pointing to a figure that resembled the creature hunting them. It's like a warning. Roger leaned closer, his voice barely a whisper. What if it's showing us how to escape? He pointed at a separate image below the beast, another figure bearing a striking resemblance, holding a stone. Maybe that's the key. But time wasn't on their side. The growl transformed into a rumble that struck the very walls around them. They had only moments before the monster surged forward, and they needed to act. Jasper's eyes darted around, settling on the various stones littered about the ground. He staggered toward a pile, his fingers sifting through dirt and dampness until he found one jagged enough to be a weapon. We have to split up. You take the left side of the chamber. If it comes for you, throw it towards the entrance. The fear tightening in Jasper's throat was almost unbearable. What if you? Roger began, panic clouding his thoughts. I'll be fine, Just trust me, Jasper shouted, forcing conviction through his own anxiety. If we're going to survive, we need a plan. I'll try to keep it away. You get to those inscriptions. Roger swallowed hard, staring at the approaching shadows. Okay, he finally relented, heart thumping as he moved to the side as Roger slipped away. Jasper felt the weight of the dark pull closer, the echoes of the beast's howls vibrating through the stone. He clutched the stone tightly, the coldness biting at his skin. "Come on, you ugly beast!" he screamed, trying to channel his fear into anger. With a powerful surge, the creature lunged into the chamber, its glowing eyes locking onto Jasper. The stench of decay filled the space as it moved intensely, muscles rippling underneath dark fur. "Now, Roger, now!" Jasper's desperate voice cut through the tension as he pivoted. He picked his mark, ready to hurl the stone. Behind him, Roger scrambled to the engravings, tracing the outline of the figure. Sweat dripped down his face, mixing with the dirt on his hands. But the earth beneath Jasper quaked as the creature snorted, saliva dripping a vision of death incarnate. He hurled the stone with all his strength, a wild throw meant to distract. Crashed against the wall, but the creature didn't flinch. "Damn it!" Jasper cursed, feeling a shard of fear pierce through him. Time stuttered as the creature charged. Roger's frantic voice reached his ears, yet it was drowned out by the thunder of the beast's movements. It was now or never. What potential danger could a revelation hold? Would they uncover a way out, or seal a fate entwined with the beast's rage? With a steady hand on the stone and desperation blazing in his heart, Jasper prepared for a fight that might shatter everything. Would they lose each other to the darkness, or unite against the lurking horror? The moment of truth teetered on the edge, waiting for their next move. As the beast lunged forward, every heartbeat thundered in Jasper's ears. He braced himself, gripping the stone tightly. There was a darkness in those glowing eyes, an insatiable hunger that made his stomach twist in ways he never thought possible. The creature was a monster, fueled by primal instincts, and Jasper was just a boy with a jagged rock. "Roger!" he shouted, hoping the urgency in his voice would cut through the suffocating fear that clouded the cave. "Do it now!" Behind him, Roger was lost in the intricate patterns of the engravings, their meanings slipping in and out of his bewildered mind. The figure with the stone, what did it mean? Was it an escape, or something darker still? Time was slipping through their fingers like the sand in an hourglass. The growl of the creature echoed, vibrating through the rock. Jasper turned to face his fate as he hurled the stone again, this time aiming for the creature's eyes. It struck its mark, but all it did was ignite the monster's rage. A guttural roar filled the chamber, echoing off the slick walls, drowning everything in primal terror. "Run!" Roger screamed, the sudden sound jolting Jasper back to his senses. He turned, heart racing, and dashed toward his friend, who was still glued to the ethereal carvings, fingers tracing their lines. The images seemed to glow in response to the beast's fury, pulsing like a heartbeat. "Roger, come on!" Jasper wheezed, adrenaline pumping through him as he fought to make himself heard over the sound of clawed feet slamming against the cave floor. Something cracked in the air, sharp as lightning. The creature was upon them, a blur of dark fur and clenching teeth. In that moment of sheer instinct, Roger made his choice that he ripped his hand away from the engravings and bolted to the side. "The carvings, they can stop it," he yelled, eyes wide with desperation. "The stone it's holding, maybe it has power." Jasper's chest tightened as he calculated. Roger was risking everything, teetering on the brink of madness. But something shifted in the atmosphere, a palpable layer of instinctual knowledge settling into Jasper's bones. "You're right," he shouted over the creature's roar. He darted toward the wall where Roger had been, desperate to decipher the markings. The moment he stepped closer to the blurry figures, he felt a surge of energy. It was as if the cave itself was urging him on. "Jasper, hurry!" Panic laced Roger's voice. "It's coming!" Breathless and trembling, Jasper traced his fingers over the outline of the stone held by the figure, an image that seemed to shift under his touch. The moment felt electric. Power surged through the inscriptions and into his body like a jolt from a live wire. The creature was now focused on Roger, unfazed by the chaos as it charged, scrabbling toward its second target. "Hold it off," Roger called, scrambling backwards as the beast advanced. Jasper planted his feet. "I can't keep this up forever." He felt the weight of the stone in his hand, heavy with expectation and dread. The beast emitted a high-pitched shriek, a sound that reverberated in Jasper's very soul. His instincts screamed for him to fight or flee. But just as doubt flickered through his mind, Roger shouted again. "Do it now. You can control it." Control? The word flickered like a light bulb above him. Maybe this was the key. What if he could channel whatever energy was flowing from those inscriptions? Jasper lifted the stone, fire igniting in his veins. The cave trembled around him, the carvings illuminating, charged by something ancient and powerful. He could feel the weight of centuries behind him. Did I end that heart-stopping moment? The cave held its breath. Would Jasper indeed harness the strength needed to confront the beast, or would he become just another fallen figure in the stories etched long ago? The beast charged once more, and Jasper steeled himself, ready to unlock the very secrets that might save or doom them both. The cliffhanger hung heavily in the air like storm clouds, waiting for the storm to break. Jasper felt the raw energy coursing through him like fire. He lifted the stone higher, feeling the vibrations of the engravings, pulsing with life around him. The beast was nearly upon them, its sharp teeth gleaming in the dim light of the cave, hot breath washing over Roger's terrified face. "Jasper, do it now." Roger's voice trembled, laced with fear, and Jasper could see the panic etched on his friend's features. "Hang on." Jasper's heart raced as he focused on the stone. If the carvings held power, then maybe he could use it. Drawing in a deep breath, he shouted, "I command you." Something shifted in the air, a crackle of energy, and the cave seemed to respond. The inscriptions blinked and glowed brighter as if waking from a long slumber. Suddenly, the beast hesitated, its sinister momentum faltering, confusion flickering in its wild eyes. The moment felt fragile, like a glass teetering on the edge of a table. Jasper didn't back down. He could feel the presence of the ancient ones surrounding him, their spirits urging him onward. "You are not in control," he cried, the words bursting from his lips with unshakable confidence. The glow from the carvings intensified, wrapping around him and filling the stone with warmth. Something otherworldly, something alive began to weave between him and the beast. Its snarl faded, replaced by a deep, almost sorrowful growl. The creature swayed, its body twisting as if caught in a current. "Keep going, Jasper," Roger shouted, panic and desperation merging into a rallying cry. The beast recoiled, as if sensing that Jasper possessed something greater than mere flesh and bone. Jasper's heart thrummed in sync with the glow, an echo of power building inside him. "I will not let you harm us," he roared, and a shockwave burst forth from the stone, slamming into the beast like a tidal wave. Its yelp pierced the air as it tumbled back, slamming into the cave wall with bone-jarring force. The echoes of its anguish reverberated in Jasper's chest, a mix of triumph and terror mounting. But the creature wasn't defeated. It was merely regrouping. It snarled, bloodlust back in its glowing eyes, rage radiating with an intensity that made Jasper shudder. "Jasper, focus." Roger's voice willed him back. "Look at the carvings. The one in the middle, it's different." Jasper's gaze shot to the figures dancing across the wall. He saw it a swirling symbol, distinct from the rest. It had to be important. The possibility of saving their lives surged in him. But how? "Roger, what does it mean?" "Maybe it's a call," Roger shouted, his eyes wide, grasping for purpose amid the chaos. "It could summon something. Maybe it can help us." Jasper's heart raced. He had to try. He took a step toward the center engraving. The monster shifted back to its feet, sensing the shift in Jasper's energy. It lunged again, a dark flash aimed viciously at Jasper. Time slowed, fear clenching around him like a vice. He was standing at the brink of something monumental. "Please," he whispered as he placed both hands on the engraving, feeling a warm pulse beneath his palms. "Give me strength." A hum pounded against his skin. The cave roared to life, and he felt a rush beyond anything he could control. The power whirled around him as if summoned by his plea. Jasper threw his head back. Then the world shattered. Each breath felt weightless, freeing like a summer breeze as the carvings glowed intensively, blinding him. Was this the force he needed? The beast lunged one last time, and in that critical instant, Jasper made the ultimate choice, but whether it would lead to salvation or doom remained a question that hung in the air, waiting for the answer to emerge in the chaotic darkness. What would happen when he unleashed the power of the ancients? Jasper stood with arms outstretched, feeling the energy of the cave thrumming beneath him. It pulsed, a heartbeat intertwined with his own, and he became one with the ancient force surrounding him. The glowing figures whispered a symphony of secrets, urging him to harness their power. The beast lunged, its jaws snapping inches from Jasper's face, but time slowed as he instinctively stepped aside. All fear vanished, replaced by determination. "I will confront you," he declared, the sound booming off the cave walls, reverberating with the weight of centuries. Driven by his words, the carvings flared brighter, their energy crackling with life, cascading over Jasper like a fierce tide. He felt the echoes of souls who had fought here before, channeling through him, giving strength to his will. "You are bound to this place," he bellowed, "and I command you to yield." The beast stumbled, uncertainty crossing its fearsome features. It howled, a sound filled with ancient sorrow, bewildered. Jasper didn't hesitate. Now was the moment. He pressed his palms against the center engraving, feeling its warmth resonate through him. Suddenly, a wave of blinding light erupted from the stone in his hands, shooting forth like a lightning bolt, illuminating the entire cavern. The beast roared in anguish, flailing back as the energy encapsulated it, tangling it in a tempest of shimmering light. "Roger, we have to redirect the energy," Jasper urged, but even as he spoke, he could feel the cave trembling in acknowledgement of his growing power. "I'm with you," Roger shouted, adrenaline fueling his every word. He ran to Jasper's side, matching his intensity. Together, they released the power trapped inside the ancient inscriptions, the energy swirling around them in beautiful, electrifying patterns. The creature writhed within the cocoon of light, its howls transforming into desperate, almost pleading cries. It continued thrashing, but they held their ground, the historic weight of the cave fueling their resolve. "Let it go," Roger shouted. "This isn't just about us. It's about the lives it can harm." In that moment, the gravity of their fight became clear. They weren't merely battling a beast. They were confronting fear itself, the fear that kept people shackled in the dark, unwilling to seek the truth about Yeshua, about faith, about countless hidden stories begging to be told. With a final surge of power, Jasper and Roger united their voices, shouting together, "We command the truth to be freed." Their combined force shot forth a brilliant beam that expanded into a radiant halo. The creature's roars twisted into a heart-wrenching sound, blurring the lines between darkness and light as it began to dissolve. In that instant, a vision surged through the cave, a landscape of stylized images of Yeshua, forever intertwined with humanity's quest for truth. He understood now. The beast represented the lies that had buried the name Yeshua, obscuring the realities of belief under decades of distortion. As the light enveloped the beast, its monstrous form warped, revealing a reflection of what it once was. A guardian of knowledge, tainted by fear and deception. The creature, shaking with the release of wild energy, let out one final, resonating cry before it imploded into shimmering motes, dissolving into the very foundations of the cavernous walls. Jasper's heart raced as silence enveloped them, a heavy, holy kind of quiet, one that promised rebirth. Their breathing steadied as flashes of golden light began to dance before their eyes, swirling around them with purpose. Jasper could feel that the cavern was transforming, and the ancient inscriptions glowed brightly, welcoming them. The air thrummed with new life, possibilities unfolding beneath their fingers. "We did it," Roger breathed in disbelief, glancing at the cave murals that now pulsed with vibrant colors. "We unleashed the truth." Jasper nodded, a smile breaking across his face. "And with it, we embraced the power of a name long lost, but needed now more than ever." They fought for humanity's right to knowledge, planting seeds of hope that would weave through darkened hearts, igniting change one soul at a time. Though they stood firmly in the cave, it was the beginning of their journey, a brave passage into the light of understanding. Both men knew there was work ahead, conversations to be had, and teachings to uncover. "We'll tell everyone what we saw," Roger said, awe filling his voice. "It'll change lives." "Yes," Jasper agreed. "But it starts with us. Let us take this light into the world." They shared a determined nod, fully aware that they still had to navigate the aftermath of their truth. But as they stepped back towards the entrance, a glimmer of hope etched brightly through the lingering shadows. They knew that they would never be alone in their pursuit of truth again. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, united in a profound mission. Now, it was time to share the revelation, to spread the fire ignited within them, and awaken fellow seekers longing for the light. The journey would be challenging, but for the first time, neither felt afraid. With every step forward, they claimed their faith, their voices ringing steadfast in the wake of destiny. "Let us go," Roger said, glancing back at the luminous walls one last time. "We've got a story to tell." Jasper's heart swelled with purpose. This is just the beginning. The cave stood silent behind them, a guardian of secrets now transformed, waiting patiently to share its wisdom with the world once more. And now, if you loved this thrilling conclusion, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm and support our journey. Flood the comments section with your reactions and wild theories about this ending. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Your support means everything, and real fans stand together.